Hello everyone, and welcome back to one of my favorite Sippin with Steven episodes of the year. Tomorrow is April 1st. Before we get going, I'm going to reintroduce one of my favorite people. This is Jessica Dillree. She is part of the Louisville tourism marketing crew and an internet sensation on bourbon and biscuits, along with my other guest, Stacey Yates, who I will introduce in a moment. But Jessica, we are here at the Visitor Center at Louisville Tourism because you all were kind enough to let me come and do an on-the-road episode of Sippin with Steven. I'm so excited because you are going to show our folks in Mint Julep Month how easy it is if they're hosting a party to batch a group of drinks. So each, with also the option of if they want to do it one at a time. So we have all these really cool stuff in front of us, including the Woodford Reserve Derby bottle. So I've talked enough. Why don't you tell the folks what we have here and how making a batch of mint juleps can really be a fun thing for a derby party.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming out here. We have our newly remodeled visitor center, so we're so excited to have you all here and to invite everybody to come and check it out, especially this month since we are in April and it's going to be Mint Julep Month. And like you're saying, so we've been on this show before and we've had a lot of variations of mint juleps. And so this year we wanted to do one where we're going to do a large batch so that if you're hosting a derby party at home, you don't have to spend your time making cocktails and everybody can kind of customize them a little bit for themselves.
Well, before we do that, let me make a little notation here. You and Stacey are the most popular guests I've had here. This is your all's 5th time being on the show, and each time it's something a little bit different. When we have the intro in Fraser Weekly that talks about this, we will reference the other 4 episodes where so if people want to batch one of those type of things, they can. But this is so much fun because there is, you know, the mint julep is the official drink of the Kentucky Derby, and if you're at your house and you have all of their kind of decorations and food and all that, nothing better than having the official cocktail that they're serving at the track.
You absolutely have to.
So without further ado, please educate myself and the thousands of viewers that are watching this.
So yeah, honestly, like this could not be easier. Basically, you're just gonna make your mint infused simple syrup, and so all that is I've got equal parts, and that's 1 cup each of I've got hot water.
Okay.
And then I've got granulated white sugar.
Okay.
And if you're doing this on a stovetop, I just have the water hot already for a little movie magic here since we're live on set.
Very thoughtful.
But you just want to make sure you're heating this up just enough to get your sugar fully dissolved. And then once your sugar is dissolved, you're going to take it off the heat, and then that is when you're going to add in all of your fresh mint leaves. And basically, you're just going to let this steep for a while. And then, I mean, you want to give it some time. You want to get it fully cooled off and everything before you start making your cocktails. But that is going to infuse it with all of that great mint flavor. And then, since we're infusing the syrup with the mint, you don't have to muddle mint for individual cocktails too. So that makes an extra step easier.
Well, just to give you an insight to me, I've used a variation of a family recipe. I use the mint for about 20 minutes. And I do this mint infused simple syrup for cocktails we offer at the Fraser Thursday, Friday, and Saturday during Mint Julep Month. So you are preaching to the choir right here.
And
it is. You don't have any mint in your mouth.
Right.
You can have a piece for garnish.
Mint. Absolutely.
And you know, you still get to spank the mint, which is always a bonus. So continue. I'm sorry.
So then, you're good. So essentially next we would just add, we're going to do a whole bottle of Woodford Reserve, and so this is just to make it easier for a group, right? And you can use a bottle of whatever bourbon you prefer, but I mean, having the commemorative Derby bottle is like especially festive when you're throwing a party. But you do 1 whole bottle, we're gonna add that to here, and then you're gonna do a cup of the mint simple syrup. And then I also wanted to kind of talk about, you can do a non-alcoholic option.
Yes, please, that's a great idea.
Yeah, so for that, you could go ahead and batch that too, and you're gonna do unsweetened tea, because we're gonna make it sweet tea.
Because I asked about a sweet tea variety, and you're like, oh, you have a little faith.
We're gonna have sweet tea. It's a Southern Derby party. That would be crazy.
Yes, ma'am.
But you're gonna do the same thing. You're just gonna have your unsweetened tea, and then you're gonna add a cup of your mint infused simple syrup to kind of have basically a mint julep sweet tea.
It sounds terrific, especially if you're driving and being responsible, but you can still get into the theme of the day.
Absolutely.
That is absolutely fantastic. What I also wanted to let people know is that there are various other things the whole month of April here at Louisville, at the Louisville Tourism, and you can go to, mintjulepmonth.com.
Yep.
And the Fraser experience will be on there again Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. a lot of other places too that I don't know all of them, but they'll all be listed on mintjulepmonth.com.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I encourage people to check them out because it is no better way to get into the spirit of the Derby than drinking the drink that people are
Right.
going to be drinking out there. It just makes you feel like you want to hear my old Kentucky home
Yeah.
and stand up and maybe place a wager or two. You never know.
Well,
But
this is just kind of one part, the first step of getting your Derby Party mint julep station ready to go. So
true.
We'll hand it off to the expert here, Stacey, to kind of feel out how you would.
Well, this is
Present this.
yeah, this is absolutely fantastic because it allows you to not have people constantly making it individually, but if people have their own taste, if they want to make it stronger or
Yeah.
sweeter,
Different garnishes. Yep.
there's a way to do that. That's the beauty of what you all are presenting here. So we will do that, and we will have a toast. But in the what I love about you ladies coming on is you give practical approaches to how to make Derby a little more authentic, a little more festive, and it takes a minimal amount of effort.
Oh yeah.
Making your
Gotta
own
be easy.
making your own simple syrup. I will tell you this, using your recipe that you had the last few years at the Fraser, people have raved about it. People, even staff who said they didn't like mint juleps, it was too sweet, they didn't like the mint in there, are converted now.
Yeah.
So it is a great
We
thing.
definitely bring people up.
Yeah, I can't stress enough to try this, and it doesn't take a whole lot of effort to
It's
do
so
it.
easy.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
So with
Yeah.
that being said, we will then move on to our next step where we bring in the guru to talk about how you set this up
Yes.
and make it look fantastic.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Jessica.
Thank you.
Hello, folks, and now I'm going to make an introduction of a lady that really needs no introduction. This is Stacey Yates. Stacey, welcome back. As I've already welcomed Jessica, the longest standing guest on Sippin with Steven. And
It's an honor.
well, it's
beyond a
something.
three-peat, right?
It's a five,
beyond,
whatever.
yeah.
Well, thank you. What we're going to do here, you see this wonderful cart here, and I'm going to have Stacey explain what these ingredients are and how this can make your Derby party an absolute success and a unique type of thing. It looks a little bit intimidating, but in actuality, it is not. Stacey, would you tell the viewers what all these great things here and how they go together to make a mint julep at a Derby house party?
Sure. This is basically a do-it-yourself mint julep cart. And you can also
Awesome.
set this up on your bar. And I've got to give credit where credit is due. I first saw this set up at Derby party years ago of a family friend, such a close family friend, we really call her an aunt, Nani, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
One of my
And
mother's best friends.
Nani
yes.
would batch her mint juleps and then set up a little area very similar to this with her big thing of Sonic ice.
Yeah.
And all the things you need. So I'm just going to kind of go through what some of these
Sure.
things are. Derby glasses. Everybody in Kentucky has them,
Yeah.
and if you don't know this trick, I'm sure you probably do, but if you don't know, antique stores, peddlers malls, eBay, Etsy are all great sources for
My
collecting
basement. All
old.
kinds of-
And then, of course, this year's, you can always buy a lot of those, but that's a nice option to have. I also like to use the sterling silver, silver-plated mint julep cups, and then also have a choice of a Louisville stoneware one
those are
as well.
I have one of those in my office. It is fantastic.
They-
Stoneware's the best.
Apparently, are going to be half off at the visitor center the entire month of April, so they're only going to be
That's
$20.
handy.
So maybe a
There
good
you go.
time to collect some of those. Of course, we've got our batched mint julep,
Yes.
and so the guest approaches the station. They choose their cup. They pour in the amount of mint julep that they want. They mound the ice in, and then this, I had never seen this until Nani did this. And you just simply have a little mesh strainer. She actually has an antique one, that sterling silver one that looks really
Gotta
pretty.
find one of those at the
Well,
peddler's mall.
course
I've
she
been
does.
looking for that one.
Of course she
This
does.
is just a simple little kitchen
Yeah.
one. But you basically just, and I've got 3 preps. I'm going to show you how to do this. Just take a little of the powdered sugar and knock it through the little strainer, and it just gives a nice little
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
finish. It's like a little finishing move for your julep. And
Looks
I'll
pretty
put
on
that
the
right back
mint.
in there.
It
Yeah.
looks
And
professional.
another nice touch,
Yeah,
right?
it looks really professional.
And then a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people do like to use straws. In fact, you all, I'm sure, knew this, that the straw was actually invented for the mint julep. Back
I
in
did
the
not
day.
know that, but
That's
now I
amazing.
do. Thank
Yeah.
you for sharing.
Google it, but it was made out of reed, and then a gentleman patented a paper straw, and then it became plastic and all that. But it was specifically for drinking mint juleps. So you got to
learn something new every year.
Another reason to continually view Sippin with Steven, because I bring nothing but the smartest guests to bring all kinds of barroom banter and trivia in.
And then this is more of a hostessing tip, less about the bourbon, but about having a party, having a mint julep, a Derby-inspired Kentucky Southern kind of party. Just bringing in some elements. A lot of this, like you might have already in your home.
Sure.
I've got old horse racing trophies. I've got a little horseshoe. Of course, you always have fresh flowers, and just kind of bringing in things, little elements.
Did you like the arrangement that I did?
Yeah, you're on point.
You're talented.
On point.
Well,
and those are just from Trader Joe's. So,
Well-
and then you always have to have a little extra mint, because people really do like that on the top, and you're also getting those essential oils and mint right next to your face when you're.
Well, what I love about this is that, we had a recipe, and we're going to have a recipe for batching a mint julep thing, but it's all the taste. Depending on how many people you have, how strong they want to make their drink, or how sweet they want to make their drink, they can do it to taste.
Right.
But all the ingredients are here. And that's what I love, and why I want to thank you, ladies, as always, because you bring practical knowledge that can make a party that's themed like the Derby so much better. And people think it's so hard to do, and it really isn't. And all these ingredients are local, and it's part of what makes us Louisvillians, and why we celebrate Mint Julep Month, and why we're going to raise our glass to Mike Atterbury and the folks here at Louisville, the Visitor Center, and to the folks at the Fraser, Sippin with Steven, and to Bourbon and Biscuits. We're going to raise our glass and say Happy Mint Julep Month, and thank you, ladies.
Cheers.
Let's say
Happy Mint Julep Month. See you next year.